Hey there, my name is Greg Torres. I'm at the Civic Garden Center, the horticulturist there, and I'm here outside in the woods. One of my favorite places in the city. This is in Northside. This is Buttercup Valley. This is a forest I've done a lot of restoration work on, and there's a lot of really great plants to see out here. So even though that the trees haven't put out the leaves yet, that's one of the reasons that some of the plants we're going to look at are out right now. Generally speaking, these are going to be spring ephemeral flowers. And their whole strategy is to kind of gather enough sunlight early in the spring to complete their reproduction, their life cycle, and they try to do this before the canopy comes out on the trees. By that time, usually midsummer, they go to sleep and you won't see them anymore. So the time slot to see these plants is real narrow, and some of them are out right now, and that's what we're going to talk about. So, like I said, these are spring ephemeral flowers, and we've got a nice collection of small little plants here. One of them I'm going to show off. It's this little tiny white flowered plant here. The scientific name is Erigenia bulbosa, Harbinger of Spring, sometimes called salt and pepper plant. It's in the carrot family. You can tell because it's got these real serrated leaves like this, just like most carrots you see. It also is indicative of carrot family with these little white umbel of flowers like this. You have the anthers, they'll start out purple but eventually turn black. That black and white pattern on the flower gives it the second name of salt and pepper plant. The whole plant is edible, and it comes from a bulb underneath the ground there. The important thing about this plant, I think, is that it's early nectar source for a lot of early insects. Everything from mason bees to flower flies, they all will come to this flower. There's a lot of nectar in each flower head. This plant only produces fructose, or fructose, however you want to say that. So that's the type of nectar it produces. It having a number of small flowers out, all on the same head at the same time, really encourages insects to have to move from one flower to another to gather up a whole bellies full of nectar. If it was just one flower and it filled up, an insect filled up on just one flower, it would have no need to go to the other flowers to pollinate. So by putting out several flowers all on one head like that, really encourages the insect to move around and pollinate this plant. Alright, second spring ephemeral out today that we're going to look at is going to be Spring Beauty. One of our most beautiful ones, I think, and it blooms for quite a long time considering our ephemerals. Here you can see that the flowers are already out, and there'll be a lot of variation in the petals. Some of them are just straight white, kind of like this one here, but some of them have a lot of pink veination or pink designs in the middle there. It attracts different pollinators at different rates, and it's really kind of interesting, the research behind that. You'll see that this plant has long, kind of strap-like leaves. Sometimes the leaves are even dark, like a maroonish color. It blooms quite a while, like I was saying, and you can see that this flower, for example, is just getting started. You see flowers here, and then a number of flower heads that will be blooming a lot. It comes from a central bulb down deep. It's actually quite deep under the ground. And sometimes it'll have several stems coming out. So what you think from the surface is, like many plants, once you dig it all up, you'll find out that it's all one bulb connected at the base there. Again, edible, if you're into that. If you're not, this is a good early food source for example, box turtles or a lot of other animals that need kind of herbaceous, fleshy, tender vegetation early in the spring. It'll grow readily in your yard, and it blooms early enough so that you can mow later on and not really have to worry about losing that show of color in the early spring.